Just another 30 seconds or so, man, and I'm gonna get started because I got something I need to talk about especially with my F&I people this morning, man. And it's about revenue, man. It's about revenue. It's about getting it on, right? And doing what you were put in the office to do. Doing what you were put in the office to do, and that's generate revenue. So not only do I want to talk about that this morning, but I'll take questions this morning. I'm giving answers this morning, man. We're doing Q&A this morning because I want to help you have a rock star March. I want to help you. I want to do everything that I can to help you have a rock star March and have a rock star rest of the year, right? We owe it, right? We owe it. So I'm about to speak to it. Hey, tell him Shaka said what's up, man. Go do your thing, Jonathan. Tell him Shaka said what's up. But anyway, so let's get started this morning, man. Let's get started. So the reason why I'm choosing to do this live this morning, why everybody's getting ready to go to work, or maybe you're on your way to work, or maybe you're just getting out of bed, man, and you're yawning and you're brushing your teeth, whatever the case may be. The reason why I'm choosing to do it this morning is because I get up every day. Every morning early, and I'm up grinding early every day. I mean, people will see me posting early, right? I don't get my day started late. I get my day started early, right? So I had a call last night. It was late last night from a dealer, right? And this dealer, I'm not gonna say any names, what type of dealer it was, etc. But I talk to dealers all the time. Every single day. I'm going to talk to plenty of dealers today. I'll talk to plenty of dealers tomorrow. Every day that I'm working, I'm talking to dealers, right? And this particular dealer wanted to talk to me about bringing the iPad into his F&I office, which he would use to sell his F&I products off of his iPad, right? And he wanted to know the pros and cons of selling his products off of an iPad. And here's the thing, right? I get the theories out there, right? We can have the F&I manager do less, right? We can introduce devices into our F&I department. We can introduce processes into our F&I department that will make the F&I manager less relevant, right? And make the devices more relevant, right? We rely more on devices and less on the F&I managers. Well, then how much do you actually need the physical F&I manager? Remind you, F&I managers are the highest paid managers in your dealership besides the GM, right? So I was talking with this dealer about the pros and the cons of the iPad, okay? And I think his theory was that if he can bring the iPad into his F&I department and he can use that iPad to sell products, and then he can use a $10 an hour clerk to package deals up, maybe send deals over to the bank, get approvals, package them up, etc. What's he need an F&I manager for? Like, for what reason, right? So this whole epidemic about eliminating F&I, making F&I managers less relevant, removing F&I, having salespeople do F&I from the beginning to the end. Listen to me. That's all a theory, right? That's all a fad. It's all a theory, right? Because let me tell you something. There's no device, there's no iPad on the planet that can sell products, right? It does not sell. iPads and devices do not sell. All right, F&I managers sell, right? And what you guys, F&I managers, have to get through your head is that, you can't be in this bubble back in the F&I department, right? Like, you can't stay back in F&I. You can't be in this bubble back in F&I, okay? And think that the rest of the world isn't trying to figure out a way to minimize your role within the dealership. Right? You have to step outside this bubble back in F&I and get out there into the world of the rest of your dealership and make yourself relevant. Because here's the deal. The rest of your dealership don't understand what you do back there. They have an idea, right? But they don't understand exactly what you do back there unless they come from the F&I department. Like if you have a desk and a GM, an owner that comes from the F&I department. Right? But outside of that, it's all a bunch of theories. It's all a lot of guessing. right? When I was on the sales floor, I used to think about what the F&I people did back in F&I. And I believe that I wanted to be a part of that, right? So they don't know exactly what you're doing back in F&I. And what happens is we like to stay in our little bubble back there, not come out of our office, and all they're doing is thinking about what we're not doing, right? So they're trying to figure out ways to minimize your relevance within that dealership. And I'm going to tell you something. You need to step out of your office. You need to go up. You need to get out on the showroom floor. You need to go up on the desk, and you need to make your presence felt, right? There's no iPad on the planet that can outsell a finance manager, right? There's no device on the planet that will sell products better than the physical person sitting in that office selling the products. I don't care what you invent, right? And I'm good friends with people who have iPad menus, right? I'm good friends with my man from iTap, right? Sean McCool. I've been good friends with him for over 13 years, right? Back when he was my bank rep in Indianapolis, right? So what I'm telling you is this, is that you're not going to replace a real F&I manager that generates revenue with an iPad device or with the clerk who can package deals for $10 an hour and send them off and get deals funded, etc. It's not going to happen. Listen, if dealers are looking to replace F&I managers with $10 an hour employees and devices, then listen, they're focused on the wrong target. They're focused on the wrong target. So, but here's what I do understand from a dealer standpoint, and I want my F&I guys to realize this. Dealers are looking for quick, efficient, and profitable processes back in F&I. I want to say it again. Quick, efficient, and profitable processes back in F&I, right? Not hour and a half, not 2 hours, right? Not processes that CSI is in the toilet, right? That customers are unhappy, right? Or that finance managers fight with the desk or with the salespeople out on the floor. Listen to me. They're looking for quick, efficient, and profitable. Okay? Quick, efficient, and profitable. So how do we as F&I, traditional F&I managers, right? Some who are new, which is who I prefer, the new F&I managers, but then some that been in the business, right? How do you become quick, efficient, and profitable? You do it by sharpening your axe, figuring out how to cut time in the process within your store. All right? Figuring out how to cut time, figuring out how to take time out of this portion or how to take time out of that portion within that long process of the customer buying a car within your store, right? Because we know this, okay? When customers get surveys in the mail, right? When dealerships receive surveys back from customers, the biggest complaints that customers will have about a dealership is what? The biggest number one complaint would be what? It would be time. It would be time. Time would be their number one complaint, right? And with what department will a customer have the biggest problem with? Will it be the sales department? No, because they came there to purchase the product, right? So it's not going to be the sales department. It's going to, customers typically always have or will typically have the issue with the finance department, right? So when us, the dealership, when we receive that survey back in the mail, their biggest complaint is with time, and the biggest department is with the finance department. So a customer's biggest complaint is time with finance. All right? Again, dealers are looking for quick, efficient, and profitable processes back in F&I, right? So what we have to do is conform. They're looking for quick, efficient, profitable processes back in F&I, and that's why they're looking for devices, right? That's why they're looking for iPads to replace a finance manager, right? That's why they're looking for a $10 an hour clerk, right, to replace a finance manager, right? So we have to become quick, efficient, and we have to become profitable, right? Who cares how long you've been in the business? Quick, efficient, and profitable. Quick, efficient, and profitable. So we need to figure out from the beginning of the sales process to the time that customer is leaving, where can we take time out of the equation? Where can we pull time? Where can we shorten the process here? Where can we shorten the process here? Where can we shorten the process here? Right? This is what we need to figure out because, again, repeat after me. Dealerships are looking for, and dealers and GMs are looking for, quick, efficient, profitable. Customers are looking for quick, efficient, and guess what? If we're quick, efficient, and we can show customers the value, they are willing to pay us the profit. So therefore, when we focus on becoming quick, efficient, and profitable, we can get dealers off of looking for iPads, right? And $10 an hour clerks. I promise you, when you become quick, efficient, and profitable, a dealer won't mind paying you. You know, I saw a post or a comment on a post from a post yesterday that said, yeah, you know, it's all well and good until a dealer decides to cut your pay plan because you're making too much money. Listen, when dealers' perception of the finance department is that you're a prima donna, right? Or a dealer's perception of the finance department is you're a lot of work. You don't get along with the sales floor. You don't get along with the sales desk. You're hard to deal with, right? They're pouring a whole lot of money into your office, but the desk has to give you leg, or they have to pencil deals with room in the payment so that you can make a profit. Or you're going to have an attitude if you get a cash deal, or you're going to have an attitude when you get a stripped out deal. Then that's why they look to cut pay plans, right? They believe that we're paid too much. Right? When we approach deals with problems and an attitude, or we approach salespeople and we have an attitude or we're arrogant with them, right? Then yeah, they think that we're paid too much, right? They don't focus on the revenue that we generate. They focus on everything else that comes with the revenue that we generate. You get it? Finance managers focus on the revenue that we generate, right? Like, that's all we talk. I run $1,700, $1,800 a copy. I run 65% service contract penetration. My gap penetration is this. So that's all finance managers concentrate on, right? Well, everybody who's not in finance focuses on everything else, the cocky attitude, right? The lateness, right? The lateness, right? The arrogance, right? The hard to work with, right? The you don't go get involved with customers until customers are ready to come back to your office, right? You having problems with salespeople when they bring you back a stripped out deal or a cash deal, right? That's what everybody else sees, right? Now, what if we become that one? What if we become that manager in that store who is hardly ever in our office unless we have a customer? Right? Someone who is always at the sales desk. Someone who's always going in on TOs, right? Earning that high paycheck that we get in the back end, right? What if we are the one that's constantly working with salespeople, right? Constantly doing training with salespeople, right? Trying to figure out ways to control the sales process as well as the F&I process. So again, we could take time out of that process so that we could be quick, efficient, and profitable, right? So these are things I need for you guys to think about, right? Skill set, skills, right? The days of old, right? Don't go back into your dealership talking about how you did it in 92, right? Don't go in your dealership talking about, 20 years ago or in my 30 years, we did it. Like, who cares? Skills, skill set, skills, right? Quick, efficient, profitable, okay? We need to change dealers' perceptions of F&I, right? Just because they own a store don't mean that they grasp the full concept of F&I. It's not their job to grasp the full concept of F&I. It's our job. It's their job to provide us with the opportunity to do F&I, right? It's their job to grow their dealership, to grow their business so they can buy more businesses and employ more people. That's what a dealer's job is to do, to grow revenue. Our job is to focus on our department, which is F&I, and to do the best job that we possibly can for dealers and for GMs, right? That is our job. It's not to make excuses, right? It's not to complain, right? It's not to give the desk a hard time because they send us back a stripped out deal, right? It's not, the desk is up there trying to eat up market share. So yeah, sometimes they have to give away a car, right? They have to compete with True Car and every commercial that talks about the lowest payment, right? And Google, whenever they're doing a Google search, right? And the Google search is showing that they can buy your same vehicle that's on your lot for $20 less down the street. See, your desk is trying to compete. And that's what you need to understand. See, I talk to F&I managers all the time who complain to me about getting loser deals, not only stripped out payments, but loser deals. If I was on the desk, I wouldn't have took that deal. Well, how do you know? How do you know? You weren't out there involved in that deal, right? So how do you know you wouldn't have took that deal, right? To get that one more customer who's going to refer you 2 more people, right? And the 2 more people that you get based on that one customer will actually pay you some profit, right? How do you know you wouldn't have took that deal? Just because it shows that it's a loser deal on the back screen, on the G screen, doesn't mean that we didn't get doc fee out of it, right? Don't mean that we didn't get holdback out of it, right? Don't mean that it isn't actually a profitable deal plus getting referrals, right? All we see is, man, it's a loser. We lost $1,100 on this deal. Well, in reality, did you? Did you really lose $1,100? Or did you take a skinny deal to give F&I an opportunity to generate revenue on the back? See, how are you looking at it, right? Quick, efficient, profitable, right? So it's time for us, F&I. Listen, you have to take responsibility for this thing, okay? It's not your desk's responsibility to make you profitable. It's not your general manager's responsibility to train you and make you profitable. It's not your dealer's responsibility to train you and make you profitable, okay? It is your responsibility, all right? It is your responsibility to own your F&I department, man. Men and women, it's your responsibility, yours. It's yours. So us, the ones who are focused on being great in F&I, we're taking F&I back, man. I don't want the calls where dealers are calling me and saying, "Hey, Shaka, what do you think about us inputting or putting iPads back in the F&I department and allowing the customers to choose product off of an iPad and choosing because we can move the little products around on the iPad, right? And the customers can choose the payment on an iPad, and then we can hire an assistant for $10 an hour who can package the deals up and who can send them off to the bank. Listen, that's the first start. You let them put an iPad in your finance department, right? And then you let your GM hire a clerk for $10 an hour to send deals over, and then to package them up, and then to follow through with CIT. Let them do it. Let them do it. And then you'll be one of the ones posting how great your numbers are, right? But that you're looking for a job. You'll be one of the ones posting that, right? Soon as you let them put that iPad in there, and soon as you let them hire that clerk for $10 an hour who does all of the administrative work, right? Who packages up the deals, who chase stips, who gets deals funded, right? Who sends deals into the bank, right? As soon as that happens, you'll be one of the ones talking about, well, I run good numbers. I run good penetrations. I'm great at what I do, but I'm looking for a job. Let me tell you something. Rock stars in F&I are never looking for jobs, right? Jobs are chasing them. When you're great in F&I, when you're skilled, when you're known for what you do, when you're known for how great you are in F&I, the people are chasing you. The decision makers in dealerships are chasing you. You're not having to chase them. Why? Because they'll pay you anything or whatever it takes to put you on their team, right? Because they know what you bring to the table, right? You're not talking about how long you've been in the business, right? You're not talking about you left your last position because of the GM or because of the desk or because of the owner or because they didn't like you or whatever else that I hear, right? You want rock stars on your team, just like your owner. Like if you're a mediocre finance manager in your store right now, if you're mediocre right now in your store, I want you to think about this for a second. If you are mediocre in your store right now, then if you're mediocre and you live in the bubble back in F&I, right? If you're hard to get along with, right? If you get into it with your desk, if you don't help out your salespeople, if you're not going in on TOs with customers, right? If you're not participating in Saturday morning meetings, right? If you're not taking every single deal with a smile on your face and seeing it as an opportunity, right? If you're giving the desk problems because they send you a stripped out deal or a skinny deal, or if you're giving the salespeople problems because they bring you back cash deals, and I promise you one thing, if you're a mediocre finance manager in your store, I promise you one thing. I promise you your dealer and your GM are looking for that next rock star. That's what I promise you. Whether you know it or not, or whether you believe it or not, right? Whether you believe that you're so secure in your job that it's okay for you to do a mediocre, I promise you this. Your dealer and your GM are behind you. They're looking for that F&I rock star. They're looking for that F&I leader. They're looking for that one who's going to come in that store and who's going to own that finance department. That's what I promise you, right? So I'm pleading with you this morning, right? What time is it? I'm pleading with you at 8:30 in the morning, East Coast time, that you walk into your dealership and that you own your finance department, okay? It's never too late to make a change. It's never too late. It's never too late to make a change. Look, and Brian Benstock says, rockstar with a good attitude for a lower percentage. Listen, Brian Benstock is a big deal up in the Northeast. Matter of fact, he's a big deal all over the country, right? If you don't know Brian Benstock, then you should. I've known Brian Benstock for years now, and I followed him for years now. He's a big deal up there. He's an owner of a few dealerships and one of the biggest Honda dealerships in the nation, right? 1, 2, or 3 month in and month out, right? Norm Reeves, Rick Case, Paragon, right? And so when you see him inputting or giving his advice on this thread, pay attention, because he's one of those decision makers. He's one of those guys, right? And what he's doing is he's verifying what I'm telling you, right? Efficient, quick, profitable. That's what an F&I manager's job is. Quick, efficient, and profitable. So listen, I'm up for coaching all day today. I'm up for coaching all day today, right? I'll be in the office. I'll be pushing all day today. And so I'm up for coaching, man. But what questions? I'm here to answer your questions too, right? Because listen, no one wants to be mediocre, right? I don't think that when you interviewed for your position, right, with your dealer or with your GM, I don't think that you interviewed with them. I don't think that you were like, "Hi, Brian, my name is Tim. I'm a mediocre finance manager. I'll do an average job and I'll have a problem with your desk. And if they bring me back skinny deals, I'll have a problem with your salespeople if they bring me a cash deal. Listen, I'm not interested in working with your showroom people, right? What I'm going to do, Brian, is I'm going to stay back here in my office. I'm going to do the deals that you bring back to me. And I expect your desk to leave me room in the payment so that I can ensure that I can make some money back in F&I so that I can eat month in and month out. Don't bother me throughout the day. I'm not going to bother other people, and I'll get the job done." See, I don't think that you guys interview like that, right? What I believe that you guys do is I think, yeah, you damn right. You damn right, Hunter. But what I think that you guys do is I think that you walk into the office like you'll come and interview with me. Right, you'll come and interview with Brian, right? You'll come and interview with the other decision makers in the dealership, and you'll come in with a great attitude, a smile on your face, cheeks from ear to ear, right? Enthusiastic, right? You've rehearsed for the interview, right? You've done Q&A on the interview with your spouse, right? Okay, if they ask me this, then I'm going to say this, right? Your resume looks wonderful, and you come in and you say, "Hey, I will do anything you guys ask me to do. I'm going to be a team player. I'm loyal," right? "I'm going to sell. I'm going to make you money. I'm going to run big numbers. I'm going to work with your sales staff. I'm going to work with the desk. I'm going to go in on TOs. I'm going to be one of the best hires that you guys have ever made in management if you give me the chance," right? That's like the common thing, right? Everyone says that. right? So once you get the position, once we hire you based on that merit, right? Once we hire you based on those credentials, those characteristics that you brought to the table, once you're giving that opportunity, then listen, you can't go back on what you said. You have to take the TOs with the customers out on the showroom floor. And I hear finance managers say, well, Shaka, I don't like to take TOs for the sales team. You know, I don't like to take them because if I go out there and I close the customer on a payment to buy the car, then I lose credibility when I come back to the F&I office and I try to bump the customer, right? That's the common complaint that I get, right? But you have to understand when you up your skill set, when you up your F&I IQ, and you up your F&I muscle, that it's not about that. It's two separate entities, right? Those are two separate deals. Those are two separate things, right? Closing on the vehicle out on the showroom floor and then closing, bumping the customer to protect their vehicle, protect their loan, and protect them are two different things, right? Increase your skill set. Remember, quick, efficient, profitable, okay? Quick, efficient, profitable. Yep. Farron Williams says, sales desk write every deal. Exactly. And F&I will find a way to make money. That's what we're here for. Guys, gals, that's what we are here for. We're given the opportunity to do a six-figure job in a dealership to generate revenue. If you guys are forgetting, in case you guys have forgotten, F&I is the most profitable square footage in a dealership. Let me repeat that. F&I is the most profitable square footage in a dealership, right? And you are in charge. Think about this for a second. You are in charge of the most profitable square footage in a dealership. That's your position. Like when you're given the chance, we're hiring you and saying, okay, now we're putting you in charge of the most profitable square footage in a dealership. Think about this for a second. If you were hiring for that position, what characteristics would you want, right? What characteristics would you look for in the individual that you would put in charge of the most profitable square footage in a dealership? Think about that. If you were someone that was a decision maker or hiring finance managers, my question to you, I want you to think about for a second is, would you hire you right now? Would you hire you, right? Todd Anderson, frankly, I love deals sent into me unsigned. You get them in the box, I'll close it. And PVR cash finance or lease, see, that's the right attitude. Todd's got the right attitude. Todd said, listen, I don't care what kind of deal you send me back there. I just love the opportunity. You send me finance, lease, or cash deal, it's an opportunity for me to generate revenue and make money. Todd, 1000%, man. I'm looking for people like you, big dog. I'm looking for people like you to put in one of the stores that I represent across the country. Brian says, get my deal done. Make it profitable. Keep my customers happy. Again, if you guys aren't following Brian Benstock, he's a big deal in the automotive industry. All right. And this owner is saying, get my deal done. He's saying, make it profitable. And he's saying, keep my customers happy. Think about that and think about who this is coming from, right? Quick, efficient, profitable, right? Revenue, keeping a smile on our customers' faces. Listen to me. It's time for F&I managers to step it up, man, right? This reputation of being a prima donna has been earned over like the last, 20 years, since the 80s, right? The people who, well, I've been in the business since 1983, right? They earned that reputation. Right? They did that, right? We don't need to reinforce that reputation. We don't need to verify that reputation, right? We don't need to keep validating that prima donna reputation every day. We need to step it up, right? Because again, we are in charge of the most profitable square footage in a dealership. We have been given the opportunity to make six figures every single year, right? We have been given the opportunity to be the highest paid managers in the dealership besides the GM and besides the dealer. We got to step it up, y'all. We got to step it up and we got to own F&I. Listen, the more you own F&I, okay, I want you to understand this for a second. The more that you take ownership of that dealership, the more that you take ownership of that department, the less input you're going to have from the dealer. The less input you're going to have from the GM. They're going to take a step back and they're going to allow you to own that space. Think about that for a second. But if you're mediocre, right? If you're a mediocre or an average finance person that's constantly into it with the sales desk because they send you skinny deals, or constantly into it with salespeople, or never participating, or that stay back in the bubble, right, back in the F&I office, then yes, they're going to constantly give their opinions. They're going to constantly put their hands in the F&I department. They're going to constantly keep trying to figure out ways to change the process back in F&I because they don't like the way it currently is. Okay? So think about that for a second. We got to own it. Okay? And me and my finance managers and the stores that I represent and the finance managers that I train, listen to me. We own the finance department. I don't need the GM to come in and control the finance department. I don't need the dealer principal to come in and control the finance department. Right? We own that finance department, and all we need to do is produce results and happy customers. That's what we need. Results and happy customers. But we've been spoiled F&I guys. Most desks are paid on the front and back. The desk sets up everything, so when they do send the deal closed out, they F&I guy is so pissed because I have to pull some money. I have to pull someone's money. It's our job, man. Who cares? Listen, every deal's an opportunity. Every deal's an opportunity. Every single deal's an opportunity. Don says, if you have to sell the car, desk the deal, and spin it, own it. I'm looking for you, Don. I don't know if you do F&I. I don't know what position you play in a dealership, but I'm looking for people like you. People with that kind of approach, that kind of attitude. That kind of approach, that kind of attitude, I'm looking for you, all right? I'm looking for those who are looking to be great in F&I despite their circumstance, right? Despite the hardship, right? Despite the challenges we get back in F&I. We know it's hard, right? We know it's challenging, right? That's why everybody don't want to do it, right? That's why you'll hear some finance managers say, well, you know what, I don't want to be in finance. You know, I don't like being back in an office. I don't like managing paperwork. I'd rather be out in the showroom. Man, come on now. If you have two management positions and one pays higher than the other, why wouldn't you want to take the highest paying one? Huh? It's because you're not great at it most of the time. Some, it's relevant, but most of the time. And the key to F&I is becoming great, right? Warren Buffett says you take the risk out of anything when you become great at it. All right? That's the second richest man on the planet. He said you take the risk out of anything when you become great at it. All right? So you take the risk out of F&I. You take the challenge and the hardship out of F&I when you become great at it. Right? If you stay mediocre, then yeah, you're going to hate F&I. Right? Everything is going to be a challenge to you. Right? You're going to hate every cash deal. You're going to try to do everything you can to avoid every cash deal. You're going to hate every lease. Right? You're going to think all customers are silly when they don't want to buy your product. Right? Why? Not because the customer's wrong, but because you haven't sharpened your axe. You haven't decided to become great in F&I. And whenever you're not great, right, then it's a challenge and it's hard and you hate it. Right? You love the paycheck, but you hate it. So what happens is, in order to get around it, you go and beat up on the desk. How? Why did you strip out the payment? Oh, you couldn't leave me $5? Oh, you couldn't leave me $10? Right? Oh, you couldn't hold the point in reserve? Right? That's what happens. Or you get mad at the salesperson. I'll take it to the next guy. I did the last cash deal. Now it's his turn. Right? We play those little games when in fact we need to own it. If there's a deal, grab it. If there's a customer, grab it, right? If there's an opportunity, grab it. That's our job. Lead from the front, right? Stop being the person that you have never heard of any manager or any other employee within that dealership being called a prima donna. You've never heard. I've never heard. I've been around more dealerships than most, okay? Especially in the F&I 20 group or anywhere else. I've been around more dealerships than most, right? We've staffed more employees than a lot of people, right? And I've never heard of any other employee besides a finance manager being referred to as a prima donna, right? Oh, and those prima donnas back there, right? Because of a bad reputation earned back in the 80s and in the 90s, right? We have to get rid of that reputation by leading from the front. Rick Neal says, Hyundai brought that monster out of you, huh, Shaka? 0% lease, cash, 5 years, 60-100. I'm proud to say they picked me for one of our roughest stores. It's challenging, but I have to remember I'm there. You doggone right, Rick. You doggone right, man. I'm looking for you, champion. I'm looking for you, okay? Ozzy says, ABC, 100% of the time. In case you don't know what ABC means, it means what? Always be closing, 100% of the time. I agree with you. Always be selling, always be leading. All right, that's another thing. That's something else that I want to impress upon the finance department. It's not the desk job to lead, right? It's not your GM's job to lead or your owner's job to lead. It's not only their job. Finance managers have to own a piece of that leadership as well, right? You have to get up and speak and train, right, and talk, right, in your sales meetings. You owe it to your store to do so. All right, this is a new age of F&I, man. This is the new age of F&I, champions. All right? We have to be the leaders in the store, right? We want great paychecks. We want great respect within our stores, so we have to become great leaders. We want people seeking us out and willing to pay us anything to be a part of their team. Well, listen to me. It takes a lot more than than your PVR, right? It takes a lot more than your percentages. Right? It takes a lot more than what your resume says you've been in the business. It takes a lot more than that. You got to own this deal. All right? Set yourself up for the rest of your life in your career. Set yourself up. Right? Make people reach out and grab you, search for you, look for you. Right? When they say, man, you know what? We have a F&I position available over here. What great F&I manager can we go out there and get? They need to be thinking about you. Right? They don't need to think about putting an ad in Career Builder or in Monster or Indeed.com or calling whoever, right, to come in to find them an F&I manager. When they have a position available, they need to be thinking about you. And think about this for a second. If you're a mediocre or average F&I manager in your store, the decision makers in your store are thinking about how they can go get a great F&I manager. They are thinking about how they can find them a rock star, right? Who can produce results not in the best case scenarios, but in the worst circumstances, right? That's who they're looking for. They're looking for the finance manager that can produce results and keep customers happy in the most challenging, in the hardest, and in the worst circumstances. That's who dealers and GMs are looking for. Trust me. Believe me, you. Right? We had 34 stores, so I had 34 GMs that I worked with on a daily basis every single day. Right? That was my F&I department, right? And I got to tell you, when you have an average or mediocre finance manager in any one of the stores, right, that are constantly giving the GM hell, that is constantly giving the desk hell, and is constantly giving the salespeople hell in that store, right, that are constantly complaining and validating that prima donna reputation that people earned in F&I back 20 years ago, right, when they're constantly showing up late, right, when they're constantly have one foot out the door at 6 o'clock, right, ready to run out the door, right, instead of waiting to see what's going on with that deal that's being worked or that deal being, when you're that average or mediocre F&I manager, I promise you, right, GMs and dealers are looking to correct it. They're looking for that rock star back there, right? Alfonso says, earn respect from your sales consultants and sales managers by leading from the front. Alfonso, I'm looking for you, champion. I'm looking for you, okay? I'm looking for the people who are like you. Darwin says, Andrew Taylor, listen to this man. Train, retrain, then hire, then rehire, sir. Absolutely, Darwin. Absolutely, big dog. Ryan says, airborne, not chairborne. Get out of your chair and lead. Airborne, not chairborne, baby. Airborne, not chairborne. You doggone right, man. You need to make your presence felt out there on the showroom floor. It's time for us to take over. So that's why I'm on here dropping these jewels at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, right? It's time for F&I to own the finance department. I don't never want to get a call from an owner again that says, hey, Shaka, we're strongly thinking about putting iPads back in the finance department. And we're strongly thinking about hiring a finance assistant and paying them $10, $12 an hour to send deals over, to package deals, to follow up steps, and to get our deals funded, and to watch CITs all day. iPad to sell product, finance assistant to do all the other. Where does that leave you, the F&I manager? Think about it. Think about it. Right? Next time you walk into your office believing that your job is secure and you're a mediocre finance manager, think about it. Okay? Next time you think your job is secure and you're doing an average job, right? You're doing average, right? Next time you think that your GM or your dealer isn't looking for greatness out of the F&I department, but that they're just tolerating and average results, right? Average production. I need you to think about that. Okay? No job, unless you're a rock star, unless you're putting in the hard work, unless you're leading from the front, unless you're producing in the hardest circumstances, not the best case scenarios, but the hardest unless you're that person, listen to me, you got work to do. You got work to do, okay? You got to put in this work, okay? We've got to lead from the front, people. Our F&I, people who are not in F&I are trying to figure out how to reinvent F&I. Think about that for a second. People who aren't in F&I are trying to figure out how to reinvent F&I, right? You are in charge of the most profitable square footage in the dealership. Act like it. Act like it. Okay? Act like it. You're in charge. The dealership didn't hire you. The dealer didn't hire you. The GM didn't hire you and say, hey, listen, we're going to hire you, and what we expect out of you is a mediocre job. We expect to give you all your deals with room in the payment. We expect for you to do very little cash deals. We expect for you to come in on time, and we expect you to leave on time every day. We expect for you to not come in and to not TO our customers to help us close deals out on the showroom floor. No, we expect for you to stay back in your office. Okay, we expect to pay you a whole lot of money, and we expect for you to work your hours to leave. And if my desk manager send you back a stripped out deal, we expect for you to complain about it. That's not what a GM or dealer hires you for. They hire you to lead from the front, right? They hire you to make an impact, right? They hire you to own F&I. The reason why they're hiring you is because they want to take their hands out of it, right? They want to give it to a leader and say, hey, listen, produce me results and produce me happy customers, and I'm gonna step out of the deal. Okay? That's what I want from you. I want production, and I want happy customers. Remember, quick, efficient, profitable. Okay? Get in that F&I department and lead from the front. This is what I need from you guys, okay? This is what I need from you guys out here on the showroom floor. I mean, this is what I need from you guys in the F&I 20 group. I need for you guys to go in this morning. This is why I decided to do it this morning, because I want to fire you guys up this morning, okay? I wanted to remind you that you're a leader within your store, right? I wanted to remind you that it's never too late to walk into your dealership and own it, and own that F&I department. I wanted to remind you that you are, in fact, a leader in your dealership, and it is your job to teach, train, develop, and grow the other staff about F&I. I wanted to remind you of these things. I wanted to remind you that in your dealership, no one owes you anything. I wanted to remind you of this. Okay? I wanted to remind you that you're a six-figure employee. Act like it. Right? You're in charge of the most profitable square footage in your dealership. Act like it. Right? You were promoted at some point in your career to be a leader in your store. Act like it. You're not a prima donna, so act like it. You are a leader. Act like it. Right? You are a role model within that store. Act like it. Right? Stop acting like someone owes you anything, because they don't. Okay? Because they don't. Alfonso, you said I'm the iPad in F&I. The pad will have to update software every minute to keep up with me. I upgrade myself all day, every day. That's how F&I professionals should think. Alfonso, man, I love you, but that iPad could stay in update status, and it will never keep up with a real F&I person. Never, right? On a real F&I person's worst day, an iPad can't keep up with them. And the guys that own these iPad menus are great friends of mine, right? But it is what it is, right? We're from the same places, right? But it is what it is, right? No iPad will ever keep up with a great F&I manager, okay? You don't need an iPad in your F&I department, and you don't need a $10, $12, $15 an hour F&I assistant to do the administrative work. What you need is an F&I manager that goes into the department and owns the department. That's what you need. That's what owners and dealerships are looking for, okay? That's what they're looking for. Mina says, I'm having trouble getting banks on board. Okay, so let's work on that. If you're having trouble getting banks on board, the first thing I would ask you is why? Why are you having trouble getting banks on board, right? Who have you contacted within that bank? Why are you having trouble? What is it that, if you've contacted these banks, what are they not liking about your store? Are you an independent store? Are you a used car lot? Are you a new car franchise? What's the deal, right? Are you new to that dealership, and has that store done bad business in the past? I would ask you these things, like if you're having problems getting banks on board, because typically banks like to sign up new dealerships. I mean, whenever we bought a new dealership, man, we had banks lined up in the parking lot waiting to come in to see us, waiting to come in with their dealer agreements, right? So your used car lot been in the business for 1 year. Okay. So if you're a used car lot and you've been in the business for 1 year and you're looking for banks to sign up, there's certain banks that don't want to deal yet, right? Because you haven't been in the business more than 12 months. They have to have a certain time that you've been around, right? You have to have a certain presence within your market, right? They need to know what type of deals you do. They need to know that you're established, right? They need to see what type of revenue that you're generating, right? So here's what I would tell you to do, Mina, is to post that in the F&I 20 group. We got plenty of bank reps in the F&I 20 group, and tag me in the post. Tag Shaka Dyke, in case you don't know who I am, you should. But tag me in the post, and I'll help you get in touch with these banks, and let's see what we can do about getting you more of them. Ryan, I'm having the same issue, but from the dealer side. I've had the dealer agreements pending 6 months, waiting on a signature from the owner. Okay, well, dude, Rick, my man, keep knocking at the owner's door. If you need a signature from an officer within your store or within your dealer group and they haven't signed it yet, keep knocking. You got to keep knocking, man. Squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? Keep knocking. Why for 6 months haven't you been beating the guy's door down? He's got to pay you attention at some point in time, right? I know, Shock, it's easier said than done. Everything is easier said than done, right? I can say breathe. It's easier to say breathe than to breathe, right? Everything's easier said than done. Dude, go beat down the door if you need to get his signature on the dealer agreement to get these banks signed up, my man. You're on it this morning. Awesome. Wake up, F&I. This is real. This is how you feed your family. Baby, listen, not only is F&I how you feed your family, but this is how you set up the rest of your life. This is how you have to think about F&I. When you were hired at your store to do F&I, they didn't hire you to do a job, right? You're not doing your job every day in F&I. You're doing your life. Think about this. You are going to be greater than what you are right now at some point in time. Like, if you're one finance person within your dealership, one day you becoming great, one day will lead to you becoming a director over multiple stores. Right? One day you will become a director over an auto group, right? You'll have 20 F&I managers that report to you, right? The last F&I department I ran for 3 years, I had 65 F&I managers that reported to me across 5 states. Okay? You don't get there by accident, right? So everything that you're doing now will lead to the next, right? If you're mediocre or if you are average, it's going to lead to the next. It's going to lead to the next getting booted out of your office and lead to the next looking for a job. Or if you're great in F&I, if you're phenomenal, if you're a leader in F&I, then it's going to lead to the next. Right? It's going to lead to the next promotion. It's going to lead to the next opportunity. But everything you're doing today when you walk in your office will lead to the next. It's going to lead to the next. Show the owner why you need that bank, that you're missing business, etc. There you go. Knock a little harder. There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's when the F&I team jumps in there, baby. That's when the F&I team jumps in there. So you doggone right, knock a little harder. Show the owner that you're missing business by not having that bank. There you go. See, all right. So it's what time is it? So I've been on here for a half hour, pushing, grinding. Listen to me. This thing is about revenue. Okay. At the end of the day, F&I is about revenue. It's about production. It's about leadership. Okay. So any questions? If you have any questions now, or you have any questions in the future, you guys know my number. I'm not one of these F&I trainers or these F&I leaders or these people who don't publish their number, right? I back up everything that I say. As a matter of fact, I had somebody call me yesterday just to see if they could get in touch with me, just to see if my number was the real number, right? My number is 678-481-4077. I'm always available to you, right? I'm always available to help you guys, right? And in the university, in Dealer F&I University, I'm always there to help coach you through issues, coach you through problems, right? On the spot training if you need it, whatever it takes to become great and build that F&I muscle and build that F&I intellect. Because this F&I thing is about revenue, y'all. It's about revenue. And when you take your eye off that ball, when you think your job is secure, when you think you got it going on, right? When you think you're in the clear, that you can do an average or mediocre job, and just because your GM or dealer doesn't say anything to you, don't mean that they're happy. They're looking for greatness. And guess what? It's people like me, and it's other people out here who are leading from the front that are looking to provide these GMs and these dealers with greatness. So if you're mediocre, if you're average, if you're not focused on sharpening your axe, we're going to provide the GM and the dealers with alternatives. Even if that means training a salesperson to take that position. Okay? Even if it means that, because what I will not do, not on my watch, not as long as there's breath in my body, I will not allow F&I to be turned over, to become mediocre, to become average, to be turned over to a bunch of robots, right? Who say, oh, well, you know what? Customers like to buy product on iPads, okay? iPads don't sell, you do, okay? iPads don't close, you do, okay? iPads don't sell, they don't close. They don't build value, right? All they do is show digits, right? All they do is show words and they show digits on a screen, right? That's all they do. And contrary to popular belief, customers love to see value in products. All right, they don't want to see a BS iPad, right? And over here in the preferred column, right? And over here in the gold column, and in the bronze column, and then the custom. And you can forfeit this, and you forfeit that, and you move this over here, and you forfeit that, and that makes the payment. Listen, mediocre, average results at best. Okay, why? Because iPads don't sell. Okay, iPads don't build value and iPads don't close. You do. You are the F&I manager. It's up to you to generate revenue. It's not up to your sales desk. It's not up to your salespeople. All right, it's not up to them to leave you room in the payment or to convert their cash customers to finance for you. It's not their job. Their job is to provide you with opportunities. The desk job is to close deals and hand you a deal. They should come back to your office and say, here you go. Here's an opportunity for you to generate money. And what you should do is you should smile and you should say, thank you. Appreciate that opportunity. Now watch me work. Now watch me go to work. Now watch me generate revenue. Now watch what I can do with the opportunity you just gave me. Thank you. Right? You should have the attitude of gratitude. Why? Because you are the highest paid manager in the store who is in charge of the most profitable square footage within that dealership. Right? Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for that deal. Oh, you have a cat? Thank you for that deal. Oh, they decide to lease? Thank you for closing that opportunity for me. right? Because the other complaint is if you're having a slow month, which some would consider a bad month. I'm having a bad month, right? But if you're having a slow month, then you'll be like, oh, well, you know what? We're not doing that many deals. Well, if you were great at what you did, if your owner, your GM, or your desk could count on you to generate revenue in the worst circumstances, then they could take the shorter deals up front. They wouldn't mind taking that loser deal. They wouldn't mind taking that skinny deal if they knew that you had their back. If they knew that you were going to generate the revenue on the back end, right? They wouldn't be concerned then. They would beat everybody out there. They would eat up market share, right? But they need to rely on you. They need to know that when they do a deal, that you're going to say, hey, thank you for that opportunity. And you're going to go back there and you have strong enough skill set, you have a strong enough ability to go back and generate revenue, right? Most profitable square footage in a dealership, and you are in charge of it. Your desk isn't in charge of the most profitable square footage in the dealership, right? Your salespeople aren't in charge of the most profitable square footage in the dealership. You are. Act like it, right? Own it, right? Be the leader. Be the spokesperson, right? Be the one who can take that deal, go back there, and generate revenue in the hardest circumstances, okay? That's what we need out of you. Leadership this morning. Go into your store fired up. Go in your store ready to work. Go in your store ready to push. Hell, I dare you to go in your store this morning and hold a little small 5-minute sales meeting with your salespeople this morning and get them fired up, get them motivated, get them ready, right? And hold a save a deal meeting every single morning with the management staff and with some of the salespeople, right? Hold a motivational meeting or take part in the sales meeting and give a little bit of motivation within that meeting, right? Change the perception of F&I, right? Change it. Change the process. Change the culture in your store, right? Push for greatness, right? Be better than they ever expected you to be, right? Do more than they ever expected you to do, right? Be greater than they ever expected you to be, right? Man, you want to lead this thing? That's how you do it. I'm trying not to come through the screen right now. But be greater than they expect from you. Okay? We got this. We didn't get to F&I by accident. Right? Nobody just simply opened the door and said, hey, I want you to do this job. I know you hear these little corny ass stories where they say, hey, well, you know what? I walked in one day and I was the finance. I get it. But most of us had to work and grind to get the position in the first place. I know I did, right? And so if you worked and grind to get the position in the first place, then do whatever it takes to become great at it, right? Most of us don't have, most of our dads aren't owners of stores or aren't GMs of stores. Most of our best friends aren't the decision makers in dealerships. Most of us got to grind for it and go out here and get it, right? So when you get the opportunity to show up, I need you to show up. Grind for it. Right? Grind for it. Go out there and push for it. Why allow somebody else to be great when it's available for you? Right? Why rock at a level 7 when 10 is available? Right? This is F&I I'm talking about here. Right? I'm not talking about these other positions within the store. I'm focused on F&I and making F&I great. Okay? Because we are great. All right? And I need you to own it. I need you to understand it. I need you to own it. I need you to put in the work today. And I need you to show and prove why you deserve to be in that position. I need you to show and prove why you're a leader in that position. I need you to show and prove why you are in charge of the most profitable square footage within that store. All right? It's revenue time today, guys. So let's get it on, man. I appreciate everybody being part of this call, man. I'm giving all you guys a hand. Giving all you guys a hand this morning, man. So it's time to go in here. It's time to knock it out the park, okay? Whatever I can do to help you, I'm all about it. What's up, Jonathan Shepard, Andrew? What's going on? Ryan, I appreciate you. Carla May, I appreciate you. The door-to-door opportunity is open. Yep. Joshua, appreciate you, man. Hope you guys got something out of this thing. It's about revenue, guys. All right? It's about revenue. So let's go out here and get it. Everybody have a phenomenal day this morning. Jeff, you're welcome, champion. Prince, we'll see you, man. Let's talk soon. Robin, appreciate you. You know I appreciate you, Robin. Appreciate you. Terrence, what's up, champion? All you guys. And see, I know most of you guys personally. Darwin, see you, man. Dwayne Robinson, appreciate you. All right. Ryan, appreciate you. Grinding doesn't mean lying. I'm tired of weak F&I managers lying and cheating, looking like heroes today, and an honest guy has to clean up their messes. See some of the perception out there? We got to change it. Ryan, Jake, Miguel. What's up, champion? There's no sound. I don't know if it's no sound on your end. I think most people have sound on my end, man, but if it's on my end, I apologize to you. All right, guys, let's all jump off here. Let's all go put in this work. Let's go tear it up. Appreciate you guys.